afternoon, everyone. Thanks to Santosh and GCP IT for giving us the opportunity. This particular panel is very, very important, and I would request you to please concentrate on the points which all of us are going to talk about, right? And as discussed, I am the Director, Healthy Workplace Program for Arogya World. We are a global health non-profit organization working towards prevention of NCDs through health education and lifestyle change. I've got some PPT, and today in this session I'm going to talk on these stats, which is again very critical for you to know. And please correlate with yourself, with your family members, or in your community, right? Especially after COVID, you know that health, especially physical health and mental well-being, how important this subject has become, right? So after spending more than 2.5 decades of corporate experience, we are on the mission of making corporate workplaces healthier and making everyone to be sensitive more on physical health and mental well-being. Now, do you know that how many deaths or what is the percentage of the deaths are happening because of the NCDs every year? Right? I'm going to talk on the stats. It is, again, I'm having some problem in the slide mode. Change. Okay, these are the alarming figures. If you see the stats, that 63% of the people, right, are dying because of NCDs such as diabetes, cancer, heart diseases in the developed countries. India, especially India, is the diabetes capital of India, of the world, right? And where 2 out of 3 people are either diabetic or pre-diabetic, and which is again very, very alarming. As per World Economic Forum, it says that there will be a loss of $47 trillion by 2030 if this is not being managed holistically or in the right way. Now, please correlate with your, in your family or any other, people who are suffering the chronic diseases. Now, what are the various problems, what is the contributor of the NCDs, or these are also called as lifestyle diseases. One is the urbanization, right, modern lifestyle, big tobacco and the binge eating. Employers, while they are having the best practices around improving the health of their employees, but they are just tick in the box, they are not very sustainable. So how do you make it more robust, right, and make it more, easy to implement, and it should be outcome driven, that is most important, right? And then health system, we have seen during COVID how problematic it was in terms of getting the hospital beds, of getting the oxygens, and so on and so forth, right? Now, what does WHO says, and this is something important, that prevention is better than cure, and that's the important point we are trying to tell you here. And as per WHO, it says that healthy diet, physical activity, right, and no smoking actually can prevent 80% of the diabetes, 80% of the heart diseases, and approximately 40% of the cancer, right? So my question here is that do you think it's possible that we can implement this, right? That's what we are trying to talk about here. Now, just to quickly understand the hybrid culture. What is hybrid culture? It is the combination of the remote working from the workspaces or from the other place where you can connect with the office spaces and doing your work, right? Now the rise of work, hybrid work in India, again I'm going to talk about some stats here by NASSCOM, that according to 2023 study by NASSCOM, 70% of Indian companies are now implementing or considering hybrid work models as a permanent fixtures, right? While employers are calling their employees, but still there is a lot of threshold which is coming forward on that. And again, the importance of well-being is the concern in the hybrid work model, where there is a blurred line between work and personal life, right? Because employees are really feeling isolated, and inadequate home office setups are impacting on their physical health and mental health. Right? Now, what is the number one cause globally for the LCDs? Any guesses here? It is actually unhealthy eating, right? The binge eating, what we call is that, or we also call it as emotional eating, right? And especially we are seeing that, as an employee, we are spending more time in the workplaces or at home, working in front of the blue screens, and come into a binge eating methodology, which is, again, we don't follow the practices of the portion and portion, which means the nutrition value of the food what we eat, or the quantity of the food we eat, right, is something which is again quite challenging in this scenario. There are irregular meal times, and as per the study, again, it says by the Indian Institute of Public Health that there is 48% of the hybrid workers experience irregular meal eating, right? Now again, increased consumption of the processed foods, it says that 50% of the hybrid workers reported a rise in their consumption of the processed food. This is also plays an important role, because you should know that any food which is packed food, right, or which is factory made and not natural, is actually impacting on your health currently or in future, right? So these are some of the observations which we would like to talk about here. Lack of structured meal planning, again, absence of routine meal preparation, and 53% of the remote workers struggle with meal planning and preparation, right? Because they're too busy, right? The work-life balance is a problem, or if they started working, there is a feel of isolation, and they're not able to really manage the time, right? Which is again impacting on this. Now, what are the mental health challenges? You will agree that, hybrid, again, we are seeing that it is impacting, and the study, again, I'm going to share some stats by WHO, by LinkedIn, and by ASNA, that more than 55% of the employee population are suffering from stress, anxiety, depression, or trauma, which is impacting on their productivity, right? And now mental health is also coming in the category of physical health, right? So what do you do exactly? So if you see increased anxiety and burnout, there are blurred boundaries, pressure to perform. The stats again says by Nandan, 64% of the Indian employees reported high level of anxiety and burnout due to hybrid work model. So this is something, food for thought for the HR leaders and the business leaders, that how it is going to impact on the overall business strategies. Right? Feelings of isolation and loneliness, again, 58% of the Indian hybrid employees felt more isolated than working in the office. Digital fatigue, when you're working for long hours in front of the system, you will see more strain in your eyes, and again, your mental stress will be there. In fact, everybody knows about the Zerodha's Mr. Kamal's case, right, where he used to do a lot of physical exercise, right, and a lot of stress was there, and overworking, which has caused him a stroke, right, and like that, there are so many examples. So are we really taking care of our mental health is something which is, again, question we are asking you here. Now, physical health concerns, again, in the hybrid work culture. If you see, one is the sedentary lifestyle, especially in the workspaces where, 8 to 12 hours of the time people are working, and there is not much exercise, or there is not, companies are not having any kind of yoga sessions or Zumba sessions, or any kind of various initiative where they are making them active, right? Which is, again, as a consequence, 60% of the hybrid workers reported decreased physical activity, leading to weight gain and other health issues. Obesity, you are aware, is again, is critical at this moment, right? Poor ergonomics at home, we know about the lumbar, which is very, very important when you're working for long hours. That is also getting impacted if you're working at a hybrid model, right? Digital eye fatigue, 48% of the hybrid people again reported symptoms of digital eye strain due to prolonged screen time. Now, what is Arogya World's 5-step approach? And that is what we have implemented to more than 250 Fortune 500 companies and reached out to more than 7.5 million employees. So what we are doing is, as per WHO guidelines, we have the robust assessment process for the workplaces. And these are majorly on healthy eating, very simple stats, healthy eating, physical activity, work-life balance, mental well-being, tobacco habits, and leadership support. So what we do is, we rate them under bronze, silver, and gold category based on their current initiative, and then issue hand over the blueprint, which becomes a mantra for them, that how can they create a culture of health by implementing various practices which has been already tried and implemented. And we also provide the tools and program which are outcome driven, having proof of concept, right, and data driven, which is again what can be measured can be improved, because if you don't measure the outcome of the programs, you will not know exactly what is the result you are achieving with that, right? So we recognize companies as healthy workplaces of India very proudly, and the roadmap is something that we give it to them in terms of what they can implement to make more data-driven approach. Now the transformation is something which I spoke about. We have the My Thali program, which is derived from US My Plate, which talks about portion and portion. The balanced nutrition, what you consume, right, and the quantity of the food you eat. So we conduct various knowledge sessions, webinars, we give them the entire stats for the survey to understand the employees' knowledge on healthy eating, right. In that way, they will be able to create more awareness, right, and create the benchmark practices there. Regular webinars on physical, mental health and nutrition health is something, another initiative which we have rolled out, and we are getting the experts from the medical fraternity, from the industry leaders, and from the other organizations. Now, as a measurable impacts, wherever this program has been implemented, we have seen that there is a reduction in the smoking or usage of tobacco. We have seen that there is a reduction of 25% of the employees who have stopped smoking through various tobacco cessation program and the policies around tobacco which has been implemented in the organization. Secondly, again, some 50 to 20% reduction in the stress, 35% significant reduction in attrition, and as a result, we are seeing that organizations are becoming the employer of the choice, because they have created the culture and they are able to create the happier, agile, resilient, and more productive workforce, right? And obviously, that's what especially the Gen Z, when you're talking about, it's not only the comp and benefits what they're looking for, but it's a lot of other important aspects, especially to be their healthy life of these people is what they are looking for. So I invite you to be in the League of Healthy Workplaces and join us in the mission to make your employees, your community, and your family healthier. Happy to talk to you. Thank you so much. Here it is my LinkedIn scan code, so you can please connect to me. And if you want to know more about the Healthy Workplace program, you can scan it and you will reach out further. Thank you so much for the opportunity. Thank you.
Thank you.